Tuberculinum. Individuals have a kind of hunger to experience a great many things in a short period, as if time were really running for them. Tuberculinum. Individuals has inherited from his consumptive ancestors a restless hunger to experience more of life before he expires. Many tuberculinums find an outlet for their restlessness through an aggressive pursuit of sports. Tuberculinum's restlessness is not aimless. It is accompanied by a drive for stimulation, which promotes tuberculinum individuals to aggressively enter into new experiences. Their sporting activities satisfy several needs: the need to remain fit so that they can maintain the hectic pace of their lives, the need for a challenge to stimulate them, and the ever-present need to play. Probably the most widely known aspect of tuberculinum's restlessness is their desire to travel. Many tuberculinums spend years traveling around the world, working as they go. The constant variety of such a shifting lifestyle helps to satisfy their restlessness and enables them to avoid the boredom that they are otherwise prone to experience when life is too predictable. They don't form strong attachments to either places or to people. Tuberculinum is more independent and very often gives the impression that he needs nobody, at least not emotionally or practically. What he does need is stimulation, and hence he likes to surround himself with interesting people. On his travels he meets many interesting people, and he doesn't miss them when he moves on, since he doesn't look them back. He is open about what he feels, but he tends not to feel much personal attachment. He lives for today and loves for today. Tuberculinums don't try all that hard to please their clients. They simply play and demonstrate their knowledge and their skills, and they don't concern themselves overmuch with what the client thinks. The only time they may lose their cool is when their clients are late or don't turn up, or when they are too slow. Tuberculinum is not a particularly tolerant type and is more impatient. They wanders in search of stimulation and becomes bored when he is in one place doing the same thing for too long. Personality of tuberculinums is far clearer and less complicated. If he is running away, it is from boredom rather than fear. They are relatively unemotional type and is usually very clear-headed and also confident. Tuberculinum is attracted by novel information, which captures his imagination. Most tuberculinums are very much future-orientated. They are often attracted by progressive scientific and psychological ideas, such as parallel universes and virtual reality, which expand the possibilities of mental and physical stimulation. They are very often happy as well as intellectual, and they crave freedom. Style is very important to most tuberculinums. The national characteristics of the French people suggest a great deal of tubercular influence. After all, it is the French who are famous for enjoying themselves with style. They are very often chic, sophisticated, and rather detached. The French also tend to be individualistic. They do their own thing to a greater extent than most other people and allow others to do theirs. Tuberculinums like their freedom too much to take on the responsibility of leadership, and they tend to lack the discipline it requires. They are principally self-serving and have fast reactions, both physically and mentally. They are far less constant in his focus, needs to play more, and is far more romantic. There are many tuberculinum poets. Like many cats, tuberculinum people tend to be friendly and yet detached. At the same time, if they find you interesting, they will be bright and animated, with a self-assurance that is not easily damaged. It can be confused, however, to find how quickly a tuberculinum interest can decrease and how suddenly they become not interested or at best politely cool. It is easy to get the impression that a tuberculinum person has taken a dislike to you, when actually he is treating you with the same indifference that he displays towards most other people. Another feline characteristic of tuberculinum is their adaptability. Drop them into almost any situation or surroundings, and they will not only survive, but they develop rapidly. They are generally respond quickly, clever at what they want and good at finding ways of doing things. This is partly because they have traveled a lot, and been in many different situations. They does what they want, and if things don't work out they moves on to something else, without being anxious too much. They need not worry, because he knows that whatever happens he can get by, and in any case worrying is not any fun and is therefore not worth doing. This relaxed attitude appears very attractive to a great many people, and when it is combined with tuberculinum's wit and their fun-loving nature, it tends to make tuberculinum a popular person. They generally be themselves with strangers, and have none of the nervousness that many people experience at a party where they know few of the other guests. Their cosmopolitan outlook makes them interesting to talk to, and if they are talking to the opposite sex, they are likely to ooze a natural charm. Tuberculinum does not always keep cool and calm. When things are not going his way, he can become not only restless, but also irritable. Tuberculinum swears easily. Tuberculinum children temper seems to be most common and most destructive. They are often hyperactive. Some of these children are allergic to one or two foods or additives in food, and will settle when these are withdrawn, but many are hyperactive irrespective of their diet. Their hyperactivity is more focused. The child is always on the go but knows what they are doing. Child may run around all day playing and pestering their parents, and in the consulting room their excessive physical energy may cause them to fidget and tap their feet, but at least their activity is purposeful in contrast to apparently aimless activities of some hyperactive children. Not all tuberculinum children are hyperactive, but whether they are or not, they are frequently willful children, who test their parents' patience to the limit by insisting upon their own way and by throwing a sudden explosion of anger if their will is denied. A tuberculinum child's sudden anger can be very violent and may include smashing of toys or later of any things. Tuberculinum is so intent upon being free to do as he wishes, it is not surprising to find that aggression is quite common in tuberculinum children who are subject to restrictions like any other child. Child is generally bright intellectually, but they are easily bored at school and they may make a nuisance of himself by distracting other children in the classroom. The child is likely to love playing vigorous games, unless he is one of the highly intellectual tuberculinums, and he will tend to do what he wants much of the time and resist pressure, do what he finds boring.